Whatever you're saying, you are putting things into people's heads, you're putting ideas, things are more likely to happen that you've told them about than if they hadn't come to you in the first place.
It is a proper job now because I do the books for it now, and it's obviously all legal for me now, so now it's a proper job. But it is, because I love it, it's never felt like work. Tim Brooks, my teacher, absolutely amazing teacher. So I go to him, I've been to him for readings. And his teacher is amazing as well, Mark, a guy called Mark. He did my first reading when I was about 18, 19. Just by chance turned out to be Tim's teacher, and then Tim taught me. So I hold those two quite high.
A long time ago I went to see a medium for some information for myself, and as soon as I walked into her room she said, "Oh, you're going to be doing this." And when she gave me the reading I could see what she was seeing in the cards, and it was from that I just developed more of an interest and I started to learn for myself. This is what you would call my full-time occupation, and it has been for the last 8.5 years now. Before that I had a proper job in the IT industry, or I call it a proper job. I'm given a glimpse of the future depending on what people ask in terms of the questions. I can see what's likely to happen. Now I say what's likely to happen because I don't believe that the future is a fixed thing, and I believe that people do actually have choices on their path. They may not have a choice about the ending, but they have a choice of the bit in between.
It hasn't been something that I woke up and said I'm going to be a tarot reader, so it's never been a big issue. It's just evolved. I worked in retail management for about 15 years before. I used to read the tea leaves with my nan in here when I was about 12 or 13, and so I knew that she was interested in it, and her mum passed when she was young, so we would talk about spirits. For me, the tarot is divination. So it's working to find out guidance, clarification and forecasting certain future events. So it's I work with spirit energy, I work with my guides' energies, and I work with angel energies.
With the family, even to this day, bearing in mind that I've been doing it professionally 16, 17 years now, my parents still don't tell some of their friends and their relatives what I actually do for a living, which I find quite bizarre. Most people accept it. There's a few people I know who won't have a reading with me, but they accept what I do. There's quite a lot of people who, of course, think we're weird, but they're quite correct. We probably are weird.
My family, it's just been part of, Kate's doing another course, she's doing another course, and then when I started working, doing it, yeah, they were very, very supportive. My husband's not interested in it at all, but he's very, very supportive. And obviously I'm out a few times a week doing parties, so he's got to be in with the kids, and he just cracks on with it.
My children won't tell their friends that I'm a witch, not because they get any bullying or anything, but because their friends don't believe them. It's the whole Disney thing, you know, it's not real. About 15 years ago I found a book on witchcraft, the history of it, read it, thought, that's it, I'm home, this makes so much sense. Started studying, started researching, and now it's who I am, it's how I live my life.
Rachel created her own cards. Some of them are pictures from her own garden.
Each herb has its own energies. Most of them have got medicinal properties as well, like chamomile for calming, but they've all got their own magical properties as well.
I use my own intuitive powers to make my own decisions alongside the cards. So what I would normally do is, if I got a decision to make, I would make the decision and then I'd probably check it with the cards, because what the cards will sometimes do is they will show me something, an angle that I didn't know about, or they'll show me a path which could be even better than what I've decided to do, or worse. Yeah? So it's a form of check and balance. After I started to learn how to read the cards, we then started to have things happen in the house. That then prompted me to, my wife, to do spiritual development courses down in Portsmouth with the Joseph Carey Psychic Foundation, and those helped us to learn how to communicate with things that you can't see. And so after that, the fear, if you like, goes away, because you know what to do and what not to do, and how to keep yourself what you would call protected.
I like to be in control. If I'm in control of it, then I'm fine. So when I'm working, I'm in control, I've connected to my guys, I've got protection, and I'm okay. If I'm in an area and it's spooky and I'm not in control, I don't like it.
As a teenager at a friend's house, we were playing around with an Ouija board, and on the way home from that, I suppose you'd call it a séance, my friend and I could actually feel that there was something following us, and it was rather scary. And it was so scary, in fact, that from that point for nearly 20 years, I didn't have anything to do with spiritual things, because it just scared the life out of me.
A few times I've had negative energies around. I've had called a negative attachment when I first started working. Didn't know what I was doing then, so I wasn't sure about protection, and I just started doing a circle, sitting in a circle, and I went home, I don't know, week 2 I think it was, I went home, and the whole week I felt like I had a dark shadow over me. It's the only way I could explain it. Something heavier, it was just, I didn't know what it was.
I think if you're a very negative person, you get yourself into a bit of a stew. You can create your own negative energies, but you know, if you know what you're doing, you can clear it and keep away from it, can't you?
The problem that you will sometimes get with a few of the readings is that what you're seeing is either quite dramatic, or sometimes it's quite dark, and you just hope that they will take the messages on board and actually make some changes.
The cards and tools are used for divinations, to help people with their pathways, in a nutshell, really. Clarification and guidance.
To a certain degree, you predict the future, if you want to say it like that, and that does scare people. And I think it's lack of knowledge as well. If you don't know how tarot works or how witches work, it is lack of knowledge and the unknown, the fear of the unknown, not understanding how it all works.
I think now it's turned around, and then they realise that actually politics and things are now the ones to be blamed for, so they're now looking for the holistic approach to cure, so it's almost done a full circle.
I think Harry Potter has done some good, to be honest. I think it's brought kind of thing more into the open. Not that we do ride broomsticks or anything.